Welcome back, everybody, this week in America. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Robert Maxxim back with us. We're talking about the Legacy series. Robert, one of our favorite guests, most popular guests, back to share his incredible journey through several lifetimes as far back as 8 million years, his blunders and triumphs, and many worlds and places where these amazing experiences took place. Now, born in 1957, Robert experienced several sleep-time visits to other worlds as a child and witnessed countless alien craft. These experiences continue to date in both wake and sleep states. He studied concert piano starting at age 3, but changed his calling to science following his visionary experiences. The Legacy series is the culmination of these experiences, shared with the world for the first time. It's the Legacy series. Robert Maxxim with us on the program. Always, as I say, a popular guest. We have a lot of questions coming in. We'll get to some of those questions during the course of the program today. Robert, welcome back. I always learn something during the program. Thank you for being with us once again.
Thanks for the invite. I truly enjoy it.
Always look forward to it. And I've always said this would make Legacy series would make a really great movie project. And you're moving along in that direction. Tell us how people can participate and how it's going, because it looks like this is a real possibility. We'll see Legacy someday on the big screen.
Yes, it is a possibility. So far, we are down to the screenplay step, and once that is ready, that will be submitted to producers. So who knows? You might be seeing a trailer sometime next year, if all goes well.
That would be good. At information, I understand, at your website, and that's rgaetan,
Yes.
Gaetan, rgaetan.com. And go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and you can link on and get all the information there. And for people who participate with you, this is sort of a really interesting situation proposal for them as well, because they really get some special treatment.
I would really like to have individuals get involved with the screenplay and actually live the parts with the movie making process. Definitely what they go through can be an added experience to the movie experience, even before the movie comes out. Plus, a lot of their feelings can be added into the movie script. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that everybody does contribute.
And you go to the website, rgaetan.com, and get all the information on that. It's interesting because you can see a project that you obviously are involved in because you've listened and watched our programs with Robert, and also a chance to sort of see the movie experience from behind the scenes, what actually goes into getting something to the big screen, and an interesting process. You can watch it unfold by getting that information. We have so many people that have called in and written in with questions. We'll try to take some of these today. The first one is talking about the writing of legacy. Does it help you progress forward in future lives? Talk about the writing of legacy and what that is meant for you, and the ramifications, the implications it has on future lives.
Initially, when I started writing legacy, it was a catalog or a chronicle of all of the eons, lifetimes, and things I had learned, shared, recognized. That in itself is progress. Since we are evolutionary beings, as we learn, share, and recognize, we are progressing forward. So legacy became for me that blog, that diary, that I would write down all of these concepts and things that I was experiencing as I was learning about the universe. So in doing so, my thoughts and my spirit was actually coming forth and pouring itself out, which is basically the very first step of learning, which is recognition. And once you recognize and learn about yourself, then the universe begins to click with that. So yes, indeed, the writing of legacy was, shall we say, my predestined mission in learning about life in this present experience, but at the same time sharing it with others so that learning experience could be, shall we say, borrowed by others that read legacy.
When you went back and you put legacy together, were there times, and I'm gathering the answer would be yes, which is sort of fascinating when you go back and you sort of chronicle what happened. When you did that answer questions? Maybe I didn't realize that happened for this particular reason, or I didn't realize what was meant for me out of this particular set of circumstances. Did you learn something about yourself and your life as you were going back writing this?
When I started writing legacy, if you take a puzzle, let's say you start with a 100-piece puzzle, it's pretty easy. You basically find the edge pieces first, right?
Yes.
You make out the square, and then you start laying in the pieces. So it was only about 100 pieces, and it was easy to find where the pieces went. As the months and the years passed by, that puzzle became about the size of a square mile, if not bigger. Then it was not so easy to find the edges or the pieces. But what's interesting is that the pieces were falling in the precise place where they belong. And then other pieces fell in, and before I knew it, whoop, they clumped together. All 5 episodes of Legacy are already written. But as I go back, what's interesting is that pieces for that specific episode all of a sudden come in. And then I realized that piece belongs in chapter 15 because we're talking about that. I never saw that before.
Right.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, there's a piece that goes back to chapter 1. Put it in chapter 1. And it's just this puzzle making that's going on. And I am not aware of it at all. It just comes in that way and it fits perfectly.
So basically, it's an ongoing learning experience for you.
Yes, and apparently I am not in the driver's seat.
Yes, you're sort of waiting to see where the vehicle is going to take you next. Robert Maxxim, our guest on the program. We're talking about Legacy series. Maxxim is Maxxim. Book is available at, of course, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Also available at Robert's website, which is rgaetan, rgaetan.com. And that's interesting. They talk about future lives. Talk about the relationship, if there is one, between legacy, what you've documented so far, and future lives. And then I'm curious as to what future lives mean for you. Do you have any idea what's in the future for you?
To some degree, yes. The future is, best way I can describe it is a higher evolved being, a being that no longer has to live in the earth worlds, but it's a spiritual being, a being that understands its place in the universe, knows how to flow and operate in higher dimensions, and can thus live there. That is the future that I look forward to. Now, in between, of course, there will be stages to get there, other learning lessons that will come about, experiences, more shedding of past negativity, correction of these wrongful lessons that I have applied in the past. And that, once those are corrected, those are little steps that take you even higher and higher and higher in your evolution. So my goal is set. My goal is that spiritual life, not this physical life. So whatever is going to take me there, whatever understanding, that's my focus.
Legacy series is what we're talking about. Robert Maxxim, the author, our guest in the program. One viewer asked, Legacy episodes describe great technologies. Will we ever get it? And will we spiritually be able to handle it? And you can see some of these images by going to Robert's website, rgaetan.com. You get there by going to our website, thisweekinamerica.us, and linking on directly. But very vivid, impressive visions that you have. These great technologies, how will we deal with that? Can we deal with that?
Well, we did at one point, and then we gave them up for silly physical things. And if you notice in our lives around us, we have already achieved many technologies, but what do we do with them? Aircraft, okay? Wright brothers, they invent the airplane. A couple of years later, what is it used for? Bombing, right?
Yes.
We discover nuclear energy. What do we use it for? So many technologies that we have discovered, medicines, chemicals, what have you, and what do people do? They abuse it. So that is the trend. That is what has brought our civilization down in the past. So I guess to get right to the point, our government already has a lot of this technology. When I worked at Jet Propulsion Laboratory, we had technologies over 20, 30 years ahead of the time. But the government has other programs and has other things going on that they're not telling us about, and they sure have a lot of stuff. But we must remember that technology must serve the needs of spirit, not spirit serve the needs of technology. So before we go out getting technology, let's fix what's inside, because that's what's going to either use technology for good or use it for bad. And if we're going to use it for bad, we might as well not get it.
Very interesting. I'm just trying to take all of that in because, yes, we seem to make major strides forward with technology, and then we do something that sort of negates it. Robert Maxxim, our guest in the program, we're talking about Legacy series. One question, is Maylen a made-up character, or is she for real? And that goes to all of the characters in the book, Legacy series. Are these characters, are they real?
Maylen she's definitely very real. Just as much as I am real, because she is my other half, my other spiritual half. So, very real. Bill Sullivan, definitely, you're looking at him, very real. Some of the other characters they're individuals from my past. So yes, they are real. And many of the spiritual sources that helped me write this book are actually my masters in the book. So yes, these are real people, indeed.
So Legacy series, as you read, these are all based on experiences that people in Robert's lives, as well as a really entertaining science fiction read. It's an excellent series. It unfolds over the course of 5 books, and hopefully a motion picture coming to you soon. We'll keep you posted on that. Information at the website rgaten.com. Link onto our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Time going by quickly here. How do these visions and dreams come to you, and how do you know they are real? Let's start with the back part of that. How do you know they are real? I would assume by now you've got a pretty good understanding when you're getting a message rather than just a random dream.
As you progress forward, realization that you have come across something that is out of the norm begins to become more and more normal. As a matter of fact, I want my consciousness to be just that, an open book to constant visionary work. That is the way that life should be lived. So, contrary-wise, when individuals say, well, how does this come to you? My question is, why doesn't it come to you?
Yes.
Why is your mind blocked? Your mind is focused on, this life. Get rid of it. Open up. Look at, smell the spirit that's out there. So, how did these dreams came to me? Originally, I wasn't prepared for it. I guess I got some help. I got kick-started to dreams, but then it started to come in and stop, see something. Oh, okay. So now what happens is if I become aware of something, it's as if I just get pulled out of whatever I'm doing. The world around me shuts down, and it's as if someone just stole my attention, and it's giving me something. But it's not a speaking engagement that goes on for minutes. It's one instant like that, 1 or 2 seconds, and I get everything. I get an hour's worth of chat right there through a feeling. And then I decipher that feeling. I analyze it. I live it, and then I understand it. A lot of what comes from spirit is not necessarily in word form, but it is a feeling. But I do go out to prove it in many ways. If it's historical, I certainly will try to verify it. If it's in another language, I will try to verify that. Future events, I keep track of it. Information learned. There's a lot of research that I put into everything to make sure. But nothing beats that feeling of assurance that you receive out of the blue. That is a dead giveaway.
Is recall a problem? And I have a feeling because everything is so vivid as you're describing it, it's not. But oftentimes you're trying to go back, even in real life situations where they're over with, and you're trying to go back and to sort of restructure that in your mind. Is recall a problem?
Only if you want it to be.
Okay.
Most individuals recall things out of a personal need. I try not to live in the past. I think that the past comes to us enough that we don't need to go chase it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it does come, I have to analyze the feelings from it, the thoughts from it for what they are, if for any corrections that must be made. So the past will continue coming to you and coming to you, coming to you, like a recurring song in your head. It would just keep coming until you fully understand it, neutralize it, bias it possibly. Then it loses power. Then it begins to fade away. My mind is set in the future. It's not necessarily to try to remember the past, but if it does come, then I have to deal with it.
Robert Maxxim, our guest on This Week in America. We're talking about the Legacy series. We're talking about Robert's amazing journeys. I can make that plural. You can get all the information by linking onto our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Link on to Robert's website, which is rgaetan, GAETAN.com. A couple minutes left in the program. I got one more question I want to take in a second, but before that, I want to go back a second. If somebody's listening, and I often get this question, I really envy what Robert has, that ability. I wish I could have dreams and visions. Can we retrain our mind so that we're receptive as well?
Yes, we can. I must give all gratitude for my understanding to the works of Dr. Ernest L. Norman. If I had not come across that, I probably would have not figured a lot of this out. He is the inspiration behind most of the work that I have done, and I'm still learning a lot from his writings. So it's all in study. And I highly recommend to everyone to please go in that direction. Try to study. And if they do have a spare moment or a spare interest, go out and reach out to Dr. Ernest Norman's works and just take a look at that. It's going to blow you away.
The website for that is Unarius, UNARIUS, UnariusUnited.com. Again, you can link on directly at Robert's website, and you can link on directly to Robert's website and Dr. Norman's website by going to our website, thisweekinamerica.us. So a number of ways to get there and to get that information. As we close out, this is interesting because of an experience that you had a couple of programs ago. How does it feel when you see a vision? And if people think that's just sort of pleasant and what an enlightening, enriching experience, you went through a vision as we were doing a program a couple of shows ago, and it was really emotionally draining. Talk about that feeling you get when you see a vision. How does it feel? And maybe that's an unfair question because I get the feeling it's a mixture of emotions.
Well, if you are able to see something you were involved with, I'm sorry, tongue twister there. As was that vision, what I saw was a scene of destruction, just as clear as day, and what I saw just brought me to tears, and it's almost wanting to come back now. But
yeah, I hesitated even if I should bring it up, but it was such a powerful moment that I did. So I hope that was okay.
Yes, yes, it's perfectly fine. These are the things that we have to overcome. I certainly have an emotional tie to that event still. I have to work it out before I can be earth free. But yes, I do get a lot of, well, we all get, we all get these images, and they will touch the heart if you realize the error of your way. Um, I certainly didn't ask for it, but it's just a relationship of energy. If okay, if I am talking about, let's say, Thanksgiving, let's say the word Thanksgiving. The first thing that comes to your mind is turkey and fixings and
Yes.
all this stuff immediately comes to mind, and you want to have it now. So the same thing with a relationship in another life. If you bring up a scene or you discuss something, it will resonate with you. It will bring out emotions from some past experience, whether you see it or you don't. The beginnings are you have a reaction to it. You all of a sudden you're afraid of something, or you're glad, or you're angry. Whatever it is. That's a dead giveaway. Bang! Something hit. Something stuck. In that case, I was talking about Mars and episode 4, and how a war helped destroy that world. And as soon as I resonated with it, bam! Here came that picture, and I'm seeing the planet being bombarded by aircraft, by spacecraft. I see this huge explosion that made the Hellas Basin on Mars. It's a 12-kilometer deep crater from the explosion. The whole planet just burning. People being on the other side of the world. The impact was so great that they were literally drilled into the ground. Trees, rocks, everything just bam, smacked. On the other side, water flying into space, people flying into space. It was just horrific.
Robert Maxxim, our guest on the program, I'll let that sort of settle there, and you can go back and listen and watch our the programs that we've done with Robert. Robert has some posted on his website, rgaetan, GAETAN.com. If you go to thisweekinamerica.us, there's a link there for iTunes. You can listen to our programs. There's a link there for YouTube. You can watch our programs. Robert, it is always a pleasure. Look forward to doing it again. A lot of ground that we covered on the program today. If you have any questions for Robert, it's very simple. You can just go directly to Robert's website and ask the question, or you can go to our website, thisweekinamerica.us. There's a link there where you can send an email and just address it for the Legacy series, and we'll have Robert talk about it. Thank you once again for being with us on the program. Always a pleasure. We learn something every time you're on the program. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Rick. And I just wanted to add, if I may, for just a second.
Sure.
Reason I see that is not because somebody else saw it and is presenting it to me. Is because I was seeing it at that time, hundreds of thousands of years ago. I witnessed it from space. I was trying to save the planet, and I failed to do so. And that is why I have the emotional tie-in. But someday I will overcome it. But these are things I have to share. If I don't share it, I cannot overcome it. I have to.
Well, I appreciate you sharing, because it is so enlightening for people watching and listening to the program. Robert Maxxim, Maxxim, our guest on the program. It's the Legacy series. Information at the website, rgaetan, GAETAN.com. And of course, at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. We're back after these messages. Stay tuned. Right back.